Alright, I'll just leave this on and we can edit it later.
Alrighty.
So, shall we begin?
Sure. Let's begin.
Alright, go ahead.
I'm Jimmy,
I'm Jake.
and
And
we've
we've
got
got
issues.
Alright.
I like it. That's clever.
Number one episode talking about Batman
Knife
number
Trick.
1, Volume 2, released in
2011.
November 2011. Written by Scott Snyder, drawn by
Greg,
Greg Capullo.
is it like a French name? I don't
I
know.
think it's Italian.
Maybe.
Are you familiar with Greg Capullo's work?
Well, just when I read the Court of Owls a long time ago. That's about it.
He's also drawn for Spawn, Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
I think he even did some stuff with like Barbie or something.
With Barbie?
Yeah.
Wait, Barbie has a comic book?
I don't know if it was a comic book or if he was doing ads or something. But
That's weird.
yeah. How about Scott Snyder?
Just from the Court of Owls. I mean, I've heard his name thrown around from some of the comic YouTubers I watch, so I don't really know why. I get why he's a good writer, because he wrote this, but this is the only thing I'm familiar with from him.
Yeah, this was my introduction to him. I had not heard of him before.
Okay.
And of course, when I first heard the name, I was like, didn't he do Watchmen and 300? No, that's Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Oh, wait, Zack Snyder did the 300 comic?
No, he did the movie.
Oh, okay,
He's the
that's
director.
cool. Okay,
Frank Miller did the 300 comic.
okay.
Alright, so opening up, this is the introduction of the New 52,
Mm-hmm.
the re-release of all DC's comics, and they started from scratch. No backstory, everything had a new origin. Did you have any, did that affect you in any way? Did you read comics, DC Comics specifically?
Well, I mean, I knew about Batman's backstory from like the movies before the New 52. I mean, everyone knows his backstory, but I guess I could technically say I was introduced to DC Comics through the New 52 Batman. But I've watched like Batman the Animated Series before this.
So then you weren't introduced to Batman through the New 52.
No, I knew him prior.
Right. So you weren't reading any of the other DC titles before the New 52 came
I was reading mostly Star Wars comics, actually.
out? Alright.
Yeah, from Dark Horse.
So when you think of Batman, what is the first thing that comes to mind? What is the Batman that you know? Is it from the movies or from...
It's from the movies. It'd be The Dark Knight, specifically. No.
That's what your mind goes to
Yeah.
specifically? So the comic, The Dark Knight by Frank Miller?
Oh no, but the movie, The Dark Knight, with
So
with-
you don't even think of Batman Begins? You go straight to Dark Knight?
yeah, because it's my favorite Batman movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you think of Batman, you think of Christian Bale,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger. Alright. When I think of Batman, I think of the animated series.
Nice.
Yep. Kevin Conroy did the voice acting. Mark Hamill, of course, was the
Right.
Joker.
Now, if we're talking about if I think of Joker, then I go to the animated series because Mark Hamill did an outstanding job there.
So I like a Batman who is mysterious and just
Okay.
badass, and he doesn't kill people.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the Batman I like.
I would have to agree with that right there.
All right, let's take a look at this cover here. We've got Batman fighting Rogue's Gallery
We
of
got,
villains.
I think, either Hugo Strange down in the lower right-hand corner. Or
I
the
don't think so.
ventriloquist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a
He's
puppet.
got his
Okay.
puppet. Riddler, Two-Face. You've got Harley, maybe. Scarecrow,
and then-
Riddler.
Yeah.
Um,
Clayface.
either Clayface or Croc.
Oh, that looks more like Killer Croc, actually.
Could be either one.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and Mr. Pig. Or Professor Pig. Professor
yes.
Pig. PYG Pig.
So, what happens in issue number 1?
Well, we open up to switch to the next page there. We open up to Batman asking, referring to the news group, the Gotham's News as
Gotham Gazette.
the Gotham Gazette. Thank you. And he's mentioning how people are saying when they go around to interview people, they say, "What is Gotham to you?" in 3 words or less, and then they say Gotham is this, this, or this.
Right.
Like Gotham is.
Well, did you want to give like an overview of everything that happens in this and then go through it, or did you want to
Let's
actually
go
go through?
page by page
Okay.
so I can get a refresher.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've got a variant cover for this
Yeah.
issue.
By Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan something. I didn't look it up to see his other work, but it's pretty good. It's got the spiky bat ears,
The long
which I don't really care for. And the bat symbol, I don't know, it's a little taller than I like, and it's got really pointed, like sharp angles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like my bat symbol a little fatter, like the one that Capullo draws,
Okay.
or Frank Miller in The Dark Knight. But yeah, pretty good cover.
Yeah. Reminds me of Injustice, the video game.
The variant cover?
Yeah, the variant cover. With the suit, not the ears, but the lines in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, like you were saying, we open up and Batman is reflecting on the Gotham Gazette's column, Gotham Is, and he talks about the different things that people say. Usually things like damned, cursed,
Bedlam, murderous.
exactly. And we've got a few areas in Gotham here.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where they are, though.
Well, this is the Majestic Theater here.
Well, it says
And
right there.
Yeah, in the aisle, in the alley behind it.
Yeah. Is that where Batman's parents died?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
where they're gunned down. And then we've got some high-rise building,
Yeah.
maybe Wayne Tower or something like
I
that.
got next to it what looks like almost a Gothic church. Almost, but not entirely.
Well, we see this arcing gate, it looks like.
Oh, it might be Arkham.
Yes, which makes me think it's probably Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Well, especially given the next page that we go to, and it's Batman in Arkham Asylum fighting all the
Yeah.
villains.
Who's the guy in the white skeleton makeup there behind Two-Face?
Don't recall. They
Huh.
might have just thrown some random villains in there to kind of fill it out.
Right.
We've also got this guy here.
Where?
Right here, see?
Okay, yeah.
He's behind Professor Pig. Maybe like Flamingo or something like that.
And to his left, or our left, we see Mr. Freeze there,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not sure if I like that design for Mr. Freeze, but
Well, keep in mind,
this is
the-
while they're in Arkham.
right, exactly. They're in Arkham, so they're kind of throwing together whatever they can get to
Yep.
make their outfits.
I do like the Scarecrow, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool mask.
Yeah.
So the title of this issue is Knife Trick,
Knife Trick. Yep.
referring, of course, to
The last comic. Or the last page of the comic. Right?
right, exactly.
Or-
We find out later that someone has been murdered.
By, well, ...
Dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Batman continues talking about what Gotham is. Let me see if I can zoom in here.
I'm still trying to work with this program. Gotham is villainous. Gotham is a losing game. Gotham is hopeless. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice the little puppet by Killer Croc's fist up there. I like that. That's clever.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I'm reading comics, I'll just kind of glance at it and then read through pretty quick. I don't usually spend a whole lot of time looking at the illustrations. But
Right.
sometimes you find stuff like that when you do.
Yeah.
So we've got Batman facing off against this menagerie of villains.
Mm-hmm.
And
What was he saying? There's no place like home.
and he gets a bit of a smirk. What do you think about a smiling Batman?
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know.
You gotta smile sometime. He's gotta take a break from being dark and brooding sometimes.
Yeah,
That's what Bruce Wayne is for.
true. But I don't know. From like I said, my Batman is from the Justice League cartoon, the animated series.
Right.
He smiles as Bruce Wayne, but very rarely as Batman.
Yep. And then we are in the next page here, and he's beating the snot out of everyone.
Yeah. Leads with some smoke bombs and looks like he just
kind of
charges in, fists flailing.
kind of reminiscent of the cover, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he talks about how sometimes people will say Gotham is, and they'll say a villain.
Right.
And how Gotham is
Usually
reflected in that
Usually some edgy teenager, though.
villain. Some edgelord, yeah.
Yeah.
As if Batman is not the ultimate edgelord.
Right? Gotham is Killer Croc.
So yeah, what did you think of this fight here?
Thought it was neat. I kind of just ran through it
Mm-hmm.
when I was reading it. But it's nice to see the details up close, though.
Yeah. So he tosses.
I love how if you go down, the ventriloquist is always just kind of off to the side. In the previous two pages, I think they had his puppet glancing around a corner,
Mm-hmm.
and then in here he's just off to the side, not even. Well, he's in the fight, but he's not really doing anything.
Well, that's the cool thing about Batman's villains is they don't all just fight.
Yeah,
Some of them are more planners, like the
like
Joker
the Riddler.
or the Riddler. So him just standing back in this cloud of smoke seems most logical. I don't know what else he would hope to do.
What are you gonna do? Beat him with your puppet?
Yeah, exactly.
Your puppet.
Oh, it says here, when Batman's talking about the different villains that people say in the Gotham Gazette, and he's punching this dude with the skeleton face in the mush, it's saying Black Mask.
Okay, but it's white.
Well, yeah, but he
Yeah.
wears masks. That's his thing.
Yeah. Okay. We've seen a few Mr. Freezes too.
As far as people saying
Yeah.
what Gotham is, yeah.
Lately, a few new names appear too.
And as he's saying that, he's smacking Professor Pig with looks like a
That looks like the
horizontal karate chop.
and fighting Clayface.
Yeah, but I think when he says new names, he's referring to Professor Pig, not Clayface.
Okay.
And we see him kicking Clayface, which, what do you think of that, about that move?
I think Clayface is kind of just thinking that tickles because it's going right through him. Because I've seen in the animated series you have to freeze Clayface to destroy him
Or electrocute him.
or electrocute him or
Yeah, kicking him, probably not a good idea.
Yeah,
It'd
but
be tough to get your foot out, and then he could probably break your
just
leg.
imagine after that, he's trying to get his foot out, just like trying to just like nudging his foot back,
Right.
but it won't move because it's stuck.
What do you think of him? The bat symbol on the sole of his boot.
I thought it was a nice attention to detail.
I think he goes maybe a little too crazy with the whole bat
Right,
branding.
right. I think the guy to the right there, I think he's Mr. Falcone, one of the Falcone.
No, I believe this guy here next to the panel where he's kicking Clayface
Might
is
be Dick Grayson.
no. Well, he's saying here in the previous panel it says, "But for me, Gotham's criminals, whether old kicking
Okay.
Clayface or new,
Okay,
some dude sitting on his bunk reading a book."
yeah.
I believe this is Commissioner Gordon's son, Barbara Gordon's brother.
Huh,
He shows up later in the Batgirl New 52,
okay.
but he's a planner like Riddler, Joker,
Alright. You
and
can tell because he's reading a book instead of fighting.
yeah, he seems to not really care about the. Either he's smart enough to know that he's not getting out, or he just doesn't care about the whole escape plan.
Right. Then there's this sumo guy.
Yep. I think I've seen him in maybe Batman International, but that might be it.
Okay.
Okay, so here Batman says something that I thought was interesting. Because in the end, they're simple and cowardly, ruled by predictable desires,
Huh.
which kind of makes me think of the whole the callback to the line "Villains by nature are a superstitious and cowardly lot,"
Hmm.
which I believe was in Batman Year One by Frank Miller,
Okay.
but it might have been before that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So then Batman gets thrown through some look like plate glass into this cell by that
Yeah.
sumo dude.
And in that same panel, there's a graffiti scratched in there that says, "I was here twice."
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was Two-Face's cell or just some dude just scribbling in there, because Joker's been in and out of Arkham too, so
Yeah, definitely more than twice.
yeah.
So we see the villains seem to believe they've gotten the upper hand on Batman.
Hey, there's the ventriloquist puppet again in the middle panel to the right, next to Harley.
Oh, yeah. Just peeking his head out through
Yeah.
this broken glass, looking into the cell.
Yeah.
And then we see in the darkness behind Batman a grin.
Right, a grin.
And look at that, it's Joker.
And the Joker saying, "And here I was beginning to think you were going to die without even saying goodbye."
And you think he's going to attack him, but then you hear Batman say,
"You ready to do this?"
then Joker says,
"Oh, you're so serious. Fine then."
so then they start fighting together. What did you think of this scene when you read it the first time?
Honestly, I kind of thought it made a little sense in a twisted kind of way.
How so?
I just... Because without Batman, there would be no Joker. And without Joker, there would be no Batman.
Why would you say that?
I'm referring to, like the Killing Joke. I can't remember the lines, but along the lines is, you wouldn't be me without, you wouldn't be Batman without me, or something like that, and then me is Joker.
Do you think that's true, though?
I think it's 100% true.
Really?
Yes.
So
Well,
you think there would be no Joker without the Batman,
yes.
and vice versa?
Yes.
Because in year one, Batman starts being Batman because of crime families.
Oh,
Joker's not even involved.
okay.
So I don't think there needs to be a Joker for there to be a Batman.
Okay.
Maybe there's an argument to be made for vice versa, that maybe Joker needs Batman on some level, but
Mm-hmm.
but I think Batman would be there regardless.
Right. Okay.
But when you've read this the first time, because this isn't the first time you've read this,
Right.
it was a long time ago. But did you remember any of this before?
I didn't remember that, so the last time I read it yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I think, and I was pretty surprised, and at the same time, I thought it kind of made sense, like I explained earlier.
You thought they were fighting because they have some sort of fighting together against the villains because they have some sort of symbiotic relationship.
Kind of.
That seems pretty
It's weird. I
pretty
know.
weak. I don't
I
know.
know. Anyways.
So yeah, on the next page, they're jumping out of this cell and they're fighting, and you see Joker doing some pretty amazing acrobatic kicks and stuff.
You know the Joker can't do that, though.
But one of the things when I first read this, well, for me, it's been a long time. It's been since like 2013 since I first read it.
Yeah.
And I saw this panel. I was like, he's fighting with the Joker. Okay, there has to be something else going on because there's no way he would fight.
Right,
He would
right.
team up with the Joker. There's just no way. And then this next page where we see him doing like these crazy kicks and stuff, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And especially what caught my eye was up at, if you look in the this page where they're jumping out of the cell, and in the top left, we see what looks like Harley Quinn,
Right, yeah.
who, as we know, is Joker's main squeeze. So what do you think she would be thinking at this point?
Okay, fair enough. Like, Mr. J, why are you kicking me? Probably something like that.
Right.
But why is the Joker the only one with a suit on?
Right. That's another thing to consider.
Yeah,
He's
Zaz
got
is-
his full-on Joker getup.
yeah.
Gloves, the suit, all that.
Although Victor Zaz looks pretty much the same as he usually does.
Yeah, Zaz could wear anything, really.
Yeah,
But he probably prefers to go shirtless to show off all of
Yeah. His marks.
his marks. But we have Clayface here. He's fallen for this deception, hook, line, and sinker.
What are you doing, you turncoat piece of blank?
Yeah. And we see Batman swinging Joker around, like using him as a weapon.
I should have really paid more attention to this. That's the artwork.
Why? Did you notice something?
No, I was just saying that I didn't really catch the acrobatics in these two panels.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of read it and just went on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking like Joker's doing this, like, upside down,
Backwards.
kick
Wait.
thing.
Yeah.
Very acrobatic.
Standing on Batman's back with his hands.
Mm-hmm. Batman's
Well-
calling out behind you, and Joker's got him, so they're working really well as a team together.
Yep.
And then through this whole thing, Batman's been talking about the Gazette, the Gotham is question, and
Of course, the
The-
most common answer.
the answer that he likes the best:
is
Gotham is Batman. Gotham is Batman City. Gotham is the Bat. And then we've got
all
collection.
answers I'm partial to myself.
We got some pictures of
they got-
both Batman and Joker punching people in
They
the
got
nose.
blood on their hands.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
this this silhouette that we see
Mm-hmm.
behind these panels of them kicking people or punching people.
Yeah.
The Batman one looks very reminiscent of The Dark Knight. He's hunched over,
I was thinking the same thing when I first saw that.
that big chin jutting out, like he's got like an underbite going on or something. He's got the kind of like the low hanging brow.
Actually, I own that comic. at my house.
Cool. That's a
Yeah,
good one. That's a good one.
there's a lot of panels in that one. Small panels.
Yeah, that's Frank Miller for you. But I was listening to an interview with Greg Capullo and Kevin Smith, I believe,
Hmm.
and they were talking about how Greg draws Batman and how some of the toughest people he's ever met have not been big, like Schwarzenegger, muscular guys,
Yeah,
but guys that are just built solid, like stocky and broad shoulders,
that makes sense.
and how for him the scariest dude in the room is not muscly guy, but just like solid, stocky looking guy.
Interesting.
And so he says he draws Batman like that a lot.
Now
Anywho, yeah,
we get the bat signal.
we've got the bat signal. We've got Batman meeting on the roof with Gordon.
Just
So
like that's pretty classic for Batman.
Yeah.
They really need a better way to communicate, though.
Yeah, you would think that Batman would just give Gordon his cell number.
Or like a beeper or something.
I mean, what is this, the 90s?
No, I'm serious.
A beeper?
It's more untraceable than a cell number.
He's Bruce Wayne. He
I
can
know.
buy his own satellite.
I know. Wow. Yeah. He could start his own bat service. Bat cell service.
Yeah,
Him
exactly.
and his Robins,
That
you know?
can't be jammed.
So we have Batman and Gordon talking, and they're talking about the attempted breakout at Arkham.
Yeah.
And Batman says that it was a new guard, or not a new guard, rather an old one named Matthews.
Dan Matthews.
Yep. And how Jim thought that he would have bet anything that Dan was a good guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of getting a little depressed about. He's like, "Who is there anyone good in this godforsaken city?"
Right. I mean, Batman's kind of good in a vigilante kind of way.
Well, obviously,
He's Batman. Like, if he was in alignment, what would you say his alignment would be?
chaotic good.
Okay.
But we have. What did you think about this
I thought.
turning of a prison guard by someone from the Iceberg Lounge, which is Penguin's hotel casino in
Oh
Gotham?
my god, why didn't I catch that earlier?
Yep. Dan Matthews he's getting a divorce.
I wasn't really much interested in this page, but I liked how the Batman says it wasn't a breakout. I mean, I don't know if Dan Matthews is going to make another appearance except for this reference here. So I just
Well, I would think not. They probably
Yeah.
put him away right after this.
oh yeah,
Batman
because he caused the breakout.
Right, Batman was gathering intel,
Hmm.
and we get the motive,
Right.
and then how with the Iceberg Lounge waitress.
Hmm.
Um,
I'd like to.
and then Batman says, or rather, Jim asks him about how he found out about him,
Right.
and he asks if he had a man on the inside, and Batman says something like that.
Yeah.
So at this point, you still believe that it was actually the Joker that was his man on the inside?
Yes. No. No.
What did you think?
I was like, I wonder who the man on the inside is. I was just wondering that when I read it the second time. Okay? So, then we find out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the man on the inside that he's referring to is the Joker who was fighting with him.
Air quotes, the Joker.
Right.
Yeah. But where is the... That's a good question. I'll save that
So
one
at this
for later.
point, at least for me on my reread, I was like, okay, so who is that? Who is the dude who is dressed up or disguised as the Joker? Because there's no way it's actually Joker.
Right.
But then Jim calls it out. He says
Yeah.
the closed circuit camera footage shows that it looked like he was fighting alongside Joker.
Right.
And
Batman said,
Jim's like, "Tell me that'd be ridiculous." And Batman says, "That'd be ridiculous, Jim."
that's what I figured. Just a simple trick of the light.
So we established that Jim and Batman obviously trust each other very, very much.
I mean, they've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, but this is the new 52, so we don't know
Right.
where they're going to go with it.
Right.
So at this point, we've established some of the villains, that Batman and Gordon have this type of a relationship. But then we see the inside of the Batcave. So what did you think of this?
I thought it was a really nice spread. I liked how they had all the Batmobiles and vehicles down there.
Yep.
They got the classic one from the from the '88 Batman or '89 something right there.
Yeah, the the guy who played Beetlejuice.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Batcycle, and then they've got.
I'm pretty sure that one's from. No, wait, that's a new one. Never mind.
It was from Batman and Robin and Batman International, the one with the big red windshield that's in the shape of the bat. Then we got a couple others, just kind of generic ones. One that looks like a Porsche.
It's for those luxury days when he's feeling kind of luxurious.
Yeah.
They got the dinosaur.
Yeah, we see his trophies in the background, the dinosaur, the Joker card.
Where's the coin? Where is the... Oh, there it is. You just passed right over it. It's right there.
There's the coin over there, and then we see the various bat suits. We see Batgirl's suit. We see
Robin's
suit.
Robin.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Jason Todd's suit there.
Okay.
And we see Batman with his cowl off, kind of reflecting, sitting at the Bat computer.
So it's true.
And there's Joker in the Batcave. So at this point, what were you thinking?
I was like, okay, this isn't Joker, obviously, because he would never let the Joker into the Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
So yeah, at this point I was like, okay, who is this guy? It must be one of the Bat family.
Right.
And Batman's sitting there in his tux, and Joker says, "You're just sitting there brooding with the computer off," and so Bruce turns it on. What do you think he was thinking about at that point, Bruce? Just sitting there brooding.
Probably thinking about Dan Matthews, maybe. I don't really know.
Well, it seems like that case has been closed at this point. I think maybe at this point he's maybe thinking about the whole Gotham Is thing that he was thinking about during the Arkham escape attempt.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so the Joker.
They talk about a new system. Bruce does the contact lens with the remote access processor linked to the Bat computer.
That's actually, I think that's a pretty cool gadget, honestly. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, well, as the years go by and technology improves, all the Bat gadgets improve, so this is just a natural progression. Yeah.
And then
still pretty cool.
Batman says it's a new system he's testing, and he's linked to the Bat computer, and then he follows up with, and Dick, take off the EMP mask.
And that's when we reveal that the Joker is in
Dick
fact
Grayson.
Dick Grayson. Yep.
I was like, oh, okay. That was my exact reaction when I saw it. When I read it.
So what do you think about this technology? Like,
I
it's
think
even better than like the Mission Impossible face masks.
Well, I was about to say it reminds me of the Mission Impossible masks.
Right. Don't we see this in one of the Marvel movies? One of the Avengers, maybe? Maybe Captain America.
Actually, Star-Lord has a helmet that's connected to an earpiece.
No, not a helmet.
Okay.
Maybe it was in Winter Soldier. One of the characters has a holographic face mask.
Hmm.
It's possible also that I'm thinking of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
Possible.
Possible. But, yep, so we see that it is Dick Grayson, Batman's first Robin.
How old do you think he is in this situation? In this
Grayson?
In this universe right now? Yeah.
Probably his mid-20s, maybe.
Mid-20s? Okay.
25, maybe. Not much younger than Bruce, I don't think. I think they're pretty close in age, which makes the whole him adopting him thing kind of weird.
Yeah.
The whole timeline got rearranged in this series because they made Batman younger.
Yeah.
So as far as exactly when everything happened, it's kind of weird, but whatever.
Whatever, you know.
Yeah,
it
works.
Life goes on, right?
Mm-hmm. So we see Dick and Bruce both in tuxes, getting ready for something, obviously.
Dick still has his green gloves on, though.
Yeah. And he asks Bruce how he did as the Joker. And
Yep.
Bruce has this pretty funny comeback. Are you asking me if you were convincing as a homicidal maniac, Dick?
And then Dick says, I suppose I am.
Then yes, as a matter of fact, you were.
Score 1 for Alfred's School of Acting.
Yep,
Still,
because
I can't-
before Alfred joined up with the Waynes, he was, in addition to being special ops for the British MI6 or whatever, also pretty good actor.
Yeah, is there an Alfred New 52 series?
No,
That would be interesting.
that would be.
Yeah.
But there's a new TV show coming out soon, I think called Pennyworth or something.
Really? Is it going to have the same Alfred from Gotham in it? Or is it going to be...
No, I don't think so.
So, first we get a prequel. Okay. First, DC releases a prequel for Batman, and it's about...
Called Gotham.
which is called Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're releasing something before that,
Yep.
assuming it goes by the same timeline.
Yeah. It seems like they want to release everything related to Batman and just not Batman himself.
What's next after Pennyworth? What are they going to do? Like, Alfred's dog?
I was going to say maybe they'll do Batman's dad, Thomas Wayne,
Well, actually, there is a pretty good Thomas Wayne story.
but
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the Superman story, Krypton, the show that they released on the Sci-Fi Channel,
Right.
which has to do entirely with Jor-El.
Is the mic on still?
Uh,
Oh, yeah, it is. Yep.
Yes, it is. Did you ever watch Krypton?
I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes of it. It's not my cup of tea because I don't really care for Superman much. I prefer Batman.
Yeah, when I heard the plot or just the general gist of the show, the fact that it would be Jor-El, Superman's father, I was like, that's really stupid. But I watched the first season and it actually was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the props and the everything they've used in that one. Pretty good. Anyways, back on track here.
Right, so they exit the Batcave into Wayne Manor and we see
Damian Wayne.
and
Dick Grayson.
No,
wait, no, that's not Dick Grayson. That's Todd.
No.
Tim Drake.
Yes.
Tim Drake.
My favorite Robin.
And, if you're wondering why there's a kid named Damian Wayne here, it's because it's Batman's son,
Indubitably.
I
And the
think-
mother is...
Talia al Ghul.
That's correct.
I do believe we learn his backstory in this story arc.
I don't think so. That was actually pre-New 52.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they kept the character, and they
Right.
changed it around a little bit. In this series, Damien was grown in like a like a pod or something like that,
What?
and artificially aged to like 11 years old.
That's dumb.
Yeah, well, they had to do that to make the timeline match up.
Anyways, so now we have, I think, Batman's contact lens here, saying facial recognition.
All right, testing up that new contact that he was talking
It
about.
goes to Tim Drake, former Robin, current Red Robin, Teen Titans, member access level high. So,
Yeah, and then he looks at all that. I think this is a pretty good way to introduce these characters without outright saying.
yeah, Dick Grayson, former Robin, current Nightwing, access level high, So,
Right.
Damian Wayne is the current Robin right now.
When you see them all together like this, I just had the thought, what is with the black hair, blue eye? Is that like a requirement for being part of the Bat family?
I don't know. I mean, uh,
And then I was looking at
Batgirl's hair color is different, right?
well, yeah, she has red hair,
Yeah.
but also Jason Todd has black hair, blue eyes, who is also a Robin. But I looked on the interwebs, and yeah, Damian has green eyes, but Tim, Dick, Bruce, Jason all have blue eyes and black hair. So what the heck?
I don't get it, man.
Not very diverse.
I didn't really put much thought into that.
Well, it just stands out when they're all standing together like that.
Right.
Um,
And then Batman says, lately, Bruce, rather, is there something you'd like to talk about here, or?
no, I was just saying I like the interaction between them. You see, you see Dick being, or rather Damian being kind of petulant, and
yeah,
and then Dick kind of takes a jab at him, and it's like
zing.
Dick and Damian have a really good relationship.
Right.
Pre-52, when Batman was dead temporarily,
So,
and Dick was the Batman. He
that,
had to raise Damian, basically.
is that still technically canon, then?
It is, although the
Okay.
details of it are a little fuzzy, at least at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, the next page, Bruce is giving this speech,
Yes.
and he's talking about, we find out why he was talking about the Gotham Is thing. It was all part of the speech that he's giving, right?
Right. As Bruce Wayne.
And so, what he's doing is he's trying to gain funds to revitalize Gotham, basically.
Okay.
What did you think of this speech?
What did I think of this speech?
Yeah.
I liked how he mentioned something his father did. Let's see. Tomorrow's Dream Away.
Yep.
Right? Is that what it is? Because I can't find it on the screen here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is just a dream away.
Tomorrow is just a dream away. There we go.
Mm-hmm. But he's talking about making the city better now. And we see some characters here that they cut to. We see this Gallon with black hair. We see Jim Gordon. And we see this guy here who we're introduced to in a little bit.
And then this older gal. I don't know who that is.
I'm thinking it might be Leslie Tompkins.
Okay.
As far as who this is, I'm not really sure.
I'm thinking Selina. Selina Kyle.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, Selina has green eyes.
Oh, she does? In this story? Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good speech. I think if I was a rich dude interested in the future of Gotham, I might donate to this.
Right? And then later, soon we see a hologram of what he wants Gotham to be.
Right.
Alright, and he says, what does he say? He says something similar to tomorrow's it's just a dream away, or
Right. Right.
yeah.
He wraps it up with what what his saying was.
Yep.
But then he's kind of glad handing with everybody. But then we see Alfred here.
Which I like how his access level is the highest
Yeah.
access level.
I thought that was cool too.
Yeah. It makes sense because he basically raised Bruce after his parents died.
Mm-hmm. And then we see this gal here, Vicky Vale. Does that name ring any bells for you?
She's the she Poison Ivy?
Nope.
No,
That's
she's
Pamela Isley. Or Isley.
oh my gosh. She works for the Gotham Gazette.
Yeah. She's just a reporter. She's
Yeah.
not a villain or anything.
She
But
has no access level.
right, she doesn't even know that he's Batman.
Right.
But she shows up a lot, and in older books they had dated on and off.
Huh.
So we see Vicky Vale a lot. And then we see her talking to Bruce, and she says something about, I'd say you were Gotham's own man of tomorrow. That is, if I wasn't already saying he is.
Oh,
And then we're introduced to Lincoln March.
Lincoln March.
Now, I don't know if you remember anything from the first time you read this book or this story arc, but Lincoln March is a major player in the whole.
Yes, I think I remember I think he's a big part in later issues.
Yep. So
Way later.
right. So this is kind of an important meeting, but it shows here that he is
Mayoral candidate.
right, the COO of March Venture and also a mayoral candidate.
All
So
right.
we see Bruce talking to him and saying that that he's pretty happy with the stuff that he's done. He mentions how he underwrote Leslie Tompkins' satellite clinic on the east side. Leslie Tompkins being Batman's, like, basically his doctor.
Oh, okay. That's why you thought.
Yeah, she's an older gal. She usually patches up the Bat crew whenever they get too damaged for Alfred to take care of.
Now, does she know
Yep.
their identities?
Yep, she has the highest level access, just like Alfred.
I tell you what, Batman's terrible at keeping his identity a secret.
Yeah, a lot of people know.
Yeah.
Did you watched Gotham, right?
Yes, I did watch Gotham.
Do you remember Leslie Tompkins from that series?
I don't. Did she appear in season 1, 2, or 3?
Yep.
Okay. The name sounds familiar, but
Jim Gordon and Leslie Date.
Yes, that's right. That's
But
right.
in that series, she's this young, super
Doctor
I forget
lady.
the actress's name, but she's really pretty. Very
She
different.
ends up going crazy in that one, though.
Very different from the Leslie Tompkins we see in the comics.
Marina Baccarin, or something like that.
All right.
I think she played in was she playing Firefly or something like that?
Firefly.
Anywho,
Anywho's, it's.
Bruce is asking if Lincoln is interested in donating to this, and he is, and they try to set up a meeting, like an investors meeting with Bruce.
Right.
And
It's Marina Backer.
Marina Backer? Okay.
Marina Backer.
Okay. So.
And as they're talking, Jim Gordon across the room catches Bruce's eye.
Right.
He's on the phone, and so he's kind of half listening to what Lincoln's saying.
Okay.
And then he issues a command to his contact computer. It says lip read go.
Right. I liked how he coughed and then said that.
You would think, though, that lip reading would be something that Bruce has already mastered, but
I mean,
maybe having the computer do it just helps him.
right.
He was pretty far away after all.
Yeah, I think you'd have to keep eye contact with that. I think the lip reading side of this is kind of lame, but it's really helpful at the same time. But you have to stare at the person, and then wouldn't you think the other person from across the room would think that's kind of weird that you're staring at me that long?
Well, it doesn't look like Jim's paying any attention to him at all.
Yeah,
Pretty focused on this phone conversation that he's
right,
getting.
right.
And in Jim's phone conversation, Bruce hears that there's somebody who's been stabbed, a murder, and so obviously Batman's on the case.
Oh, I love this part.
So he has to get out. Lincoln pulls him back quickly. He's like, Bruce, are you listening? And so they set up this meeting through Alfred, and Bruce says that he has to go. Excuse me for a moment. So it's
with Bruce Wayne, a moment could be a couple hours.
right.
I like this spread right here.
Yeah, right after he leaves the party,
Yeah, I like
it shows a half-page spread of Batman
grappling
through the Gotham sky.
You would think the grapple line would be a little thicker.
I mean, in reality, it would have to be thicker.
But this is comics, so who cares?
In comics, yeah, who knows? This might be some sort of special semi-elastic, super tough material.
Something similar to Spider-Man's web.
Right.
Yeah. At least Spider-Man's web is braided. Anyways, so we get Harvey Bullock, not Harvey Dent. I remember watching Gotham. This is actually the first time I heard of Harvey Bullock. But I was like, wait. When I first heard about it in Gotham, I was super confused because I was almost 85% positive that this Harvey Bullock guy was gonna be Two-Face. And then I realized, wait, Harvey Dent is Two-Face.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the Gotham show,
even though I read this comic before I watched Gotham,
mm-hmm.
Still, I really never paid much attention to this guy.
Yeah, Harvey Dent, he's a complicated character. He's like a hair's width from becoming a corrupt cop.
Or Bullock.
Bullock, yeah. But
he's an alcoholic too.
Yeah, in the end, he's one of the good ones. One of the people that Jim trusts, and that I think Batman probably trusts as well. And obviously, they're setting up here that Bullock trusts Batman.
Right.
And it looks like they've been together for a while because Batman sneaks up on him and
hello, Harvey.
And he doesn't freak out. He's just like, back to stealth mode, I see. Instead of freaking out like most
Come
people.
on, let's go look at some art. And here we are.
Yep. So we see this guy, Sam Striggs, quote unquote.
Yeah.
He has been murdered in his apartment. I like this whole section. I like
it too. Yeah.
I like the Batman investigating a crime sort of thing. I think that's pretty cool.
He is a detective.
Exactly. That's what Ra's al Ghul calls him, the detective.
Oh, cool. Then there's this guy spread out like Jesus on the cross.
Well, it's just a T-pose.
With the T-pose.
Yeah.
But he's got throwing knives thrown into him, and he's been there for about 6 days.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 4 days or so.
Yeah.
They mentioned that the landlord had seen him, had found him. but they checked the prints on him, and they dug into him and found out that Sam Striggs does not exist. That's a fabricated identity. So
Mhm.
this guy, he is a John Doe. They don't know who he is, but they also mention here, Harvey does, that all of these knives have avoided all major arteries,
Yes.
major organs.
And they all have an owl on them.
Right, but the point is that this guy, he really suffered before he died. They made him to suffer.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the knives do have owls on them, and this is the first time we see anything involving owls.
Yes.
Um,
And
and then Harvey has this throwaway line that I think sets up the whole storyline, the Court of Owls storyline. Do you think it has anything to do with the old wives' tale
About
about
the-
and then he's cut off, and then Batman says, "I
I
know what
know-
you mean."
I know what you
Of course,
mean.
at this point, we don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, if
An
we're
old wives' tale.
if we're back in 2011 and we're picking up the issue for the first time,
Right.
or like someone back in 2011 would probably just glance past that and not give it any attention.
Right. But
Yeah.
we see that they're setting it up here, which is nice foreshadowing.
Yes.
Anyway, Batman takes one of the knives to have analyzed at the Batcave.
Ooh, I want to say this part. And then they find this DNA. Wait, we should wait for the DNA results.
Right. Well, he scrapes underneath the victim's fingernails for skin
Yeah.
from the killer, because
Mhm.
sometimes when you get into a fight, you can scratch your victim and their skin flakes will get underneath your skin, up underneath your nails.
Right.
This is actual police forensics. But he puts it into this thing in his gauntlet, and he says, "Running AMP FLP now."
Right. I don't know what that stands for.
I didn't either. And there's no like asterisk and a little like blurb explaining what it is at the
Yeah.
bottom of the comic. So I looked it up, and that is stands for Amplified Fragment Length Polymorphism, and it's used in DNA fingerprinting.
Huh.
So this is
Interesting.
an actual factual way of determining like crime scene forensics. Which I
Right.
thought
Right.
was pretty cool.
So then we see Batman sniffing around.
Yep, and he's looking at this picture, and he works out, or rather, takes the picture down,
Yeah.
asks for Bullock's cigar. At this point, do you know where he's going with this?
No, I didn't at this point. And
Yeah,
then he
I didn't
mentioned
either. I had
paint
no-
thinner.
Yeah, he mentions that there's too much
Paint thinner.
paint thinner.
And then he presses his cigar against the wall, and then there's a message that says Bruce Wayne will die tomorrow. But the thing is, this was placed about 6 days before the body was found.
Right. So
So-
the paint thinner obviously would be dried up at this point.
Right.
Also, if someone spelled something out in fire on the ground, you could kind of make it out. But having it be spelled out on a wall,
I still
The-
thought it was.
the flames will rise to a point where you wouldn't be able to make out any sort of message.
I still thought it was a haunting message, though.
Yeah, it's creepy and it looks cool, but
Yeah.
it's really not realistic.
Now, if it was on
whatsoever.
a wall, the flames would go up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You wouldn't be able to read
not a
it.
wall, but the floor.
Right. If it was on the floor, you could maybe read it.
Right. But
But,
who cares? This is comics.
Yeah.
Because comics.
So, Bruce Wayne will die tomorrow. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Right. Yeah.
It's
I don't-
probably good for Batman. It's nice to have the target on him, so he's not fighting to protect somebody. All he has to
Right.
do is find the killer.
Then,
But they talk about how if he was found if he was killed 4 days ago or 6 days ago or however long ago it was, then the time for Bruce Wayne to die will have come and gone. Unless, of course, the killer knew exactly when the body would be found.
Which is kind of odd.
Yeah, that's a bit of
Yeah.
a stretch, isn't it?
But this is the
And then
quarterback.
Harvey Bullock is saying that good luck trying to take out Bruce Wayne. He's got more security than
Security has
security has security. Yep. Makes you almost feel bad for the guy. Is what he says.
Almost.
Batman says
Batman
almost.
pipes up and says, almost?
Yeah. And then Harvey Bullock saying that I know you and Wayne are pals and all, but Wayne blah blah blah. This is also something that is pre New 52. The whole Bruce Wayne and Batman are connected.
Right.
In the older comics, he actually Bruce Wayne comes out and says that he is sponsoring Batman, which you would think would just make people even more suspectful of
That's
Batman
funny.
and Bruce Wayne being the same person, but whatever. I'm just noticing now they kind of just turn around and leave this burning.
I mean, let's just burn the whole apartment complex down.
Yeah, it'll
Sure.
be fine.
But it looks pretty epic, though.
Yeah.
You can see the flames are dissipating in the background, though.
Although this bottom middle panel where Batman's asking Harvey almost, his face looks a little weird, his mouth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's his... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of weird though.
It does. It does.
And then Batman says quiet to Harvey as Harvey's talking to him, and Harvey thinks that he's mad because of what he said about Bruce Wayne.
Right.
When in actuality,
The fingerprints came
he's
back.
yeah, and he's talking to Alfred.
And Alfred says they are Dick Grayson's.
Yep.
And the DNA match is Dick Grayson.
What did you think of this?
I thought it was a nice twist. It was like... then I thought back to myself about later issues in the comics, which I'm not going to spoil anything right now, but it explains why the DNA match is Dick Grayson's.
Well, yeah. Do you remember what you thought the first time you read this? Were you like, oh my god, Dick Grayson killed somebody?
I was like, wait, isn't Dick Grayson back at the party? That's what I thought.
Well, this murder didn't happen right now. It happened
Yeah.
days ago, right?
Right. So.
And we know that Dick Grayson has been undercover in Arkham Asylum as Joker,
Right.
gathering information on the corrupt.
And I think there's a
guard.
few throwaway lines that says, back when Dick Grayson's talking to Bruce, he's like, oh, you left me in there for a few more extra days. And then Bruce says,
had to be
like-
sure.
had to be sure, and he needed a vacation anyways.
Yeah,
And then,
and Dick's like, that's a vacation, Arkham Asylum.
right? So that's
So yeah, we basically know. I mean, even if we didn't know
Right.
have an alibi for Dick, we would know it's not him, right?
right.
Unless he was like brainwashed or
Yeah.
cloned or something weird. It could be anything. In comics.
I mean, if they can clone a Jedi and the Force Unleashed, I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, wrong universe, but sure.
I know. It's just an example of like books and video games there.
Right. Well, it could be anything.
Yeah.
So the impact of this whole reveal, the DNA match being Dick Grayson, is lessened a little bit because of that, I think. But it's still a really cool way to end the comic. It's very dramatic, and it makes you want to read the next one.
It does.
So next issue is
So,
called Trust Fall.
Is this the Iron Maiden? So if we go to the last spread,
This is not.
is that the Iron Maiden guy?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the comic whatsoever. This is just who uploaded it.
Oh, okay. It's still cool artwork though.
Yeah, but this isn't New 52 or anything.
Yeah.
It's just this guy who uploads comics. He put this in at the end.
Yeah.
A lot of people did this.
Risen Empire.
Yeah. So, what did you think overall of the comic?
I thought it was a great story to introduce people who want more. A good introduction to the New 52. That's what I think it is.
Would it, so,
It's
like
fun.
on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of a rating would you give it?
Probably an 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you give it that score?
Well, I mean, the artwork's really good, and the story for this one issue is also pretty good. Not really good, but pretty good.
What do you think held it back, the story?
Well, I thought it was kind of slow, personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
What parts did you think were slow?
I thought the Arkham fight was a little too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What would
overall, you would give it a what? 8 or a
I
9?
get it at 8.5.
Okay. Eight
It's,
and a half.
it's almost a 9, but not quite. What about you, Jake?
I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And here's why. We are introduced to all the players, and it's done in a clever way, like how we saw Damien and Dick and Tim with the contact facial
Yes.
recognition thing. We got a fight right out of the gate. We
Right.
see all those villains. We see Batman going through a crime scene, solving the crime,
Right.
or to an extent, and setting up all these little threads that lead to the overarching story. Plus,
Right.
the art is amazing.
You know, I did like the twist when you thought Batman was fighting with the Joker.
Exactly. Yeah, that
That
fun
was-
twist there, and at the end, it
Yeah.
ends on this huge cliffhanger. So yeah, I don't see what you could possibly do to make this comic any better.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would give it a 10 out of 10.
That's a fair assessment there.
So next issue, Trust Fall. We will be reviewing that later. And
We don't have a schedule pretty much picked out yet, but it seems like maybe every Monday or Tuesday.
yeah, we could do it once a week.
Yeah. Because last week we did our test podcast on a Tuesday.
I'll see where I can release this at, and yeah, we'll go from there and see where this takes us. We'll go all the way through the story arc, which would be the Court of Owls, right?
Yes.
And then from there, who knows what we'll review? Maybe Marvel, maybe Image, maybe more DC.
Maybe something completely strange.
Yep.
I don't really know.
Like we could do manga.
Yeah. The manga takes a little longer to read, though.
You think so?
I mean, because they release in volumes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a few ideas picked out for the next story arc after this. I'll run them by you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have an outro that you want to do?
Goodbye.
You don't want to do like the
No, I don't.
intro?
No.
I've been Jake,
Fine. I've been Jimmy.
and
We've
we still
got-
have issues.
We still have issues.
All right.